Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here, and I have a fabulous Fun Friday project for you today. We are going to be making this cute hive box, and it's a two-part box, has a top and a bottom. And inside you can put whatever you want. I have turned this into kind of a get well box, but you can put birthday things in there, whatever candy you want. And we are going to be using two bundles to make that. We are going to be using the Fluffiest Friends bundle. And if you don't recognize this bundle from a catalog, that's probably very common, or I don't even know the word that I'm going to use here, but it's because this is an online exclusive. Now, this one was released in late fall of last year, but I was up in Canada after my mom passed away, and I never got a chance to demonstrate this bundle. And so I'm going to do so today, and you're going to need this hive piece. That's the key piece for the top and the bottom of the hive. We follow this shape to create that hive box. It also has some really cute little images, side images. It also cuts out all of the images, or most of the images in this stamp set. So you can make a really cute box with that, and cards with it too. So that's one thing. And we're also going to be using the Circle Sayings bundle. So for instance, if you didn't want to make this into a thinking of you box, you could do sending you a, and then you can use any of these companion words with it, like a warm hello or a smile, or sending you a thank you or a happy birthday, or you can use celebrate as well as your greeting up at the top. So you can change this out, but I thought honey themed, and so you can put some honey lozenges in here and some honey themed tea. I'll show you what I put in here when I can open the box and not everything will fall out because I'm holding it up in the air. So I'll show you in a second what I put inside of here. So I will also have a project sheet for you. It looks like this, and I mailed this out on Saturday. So you need to be on my email list to get it. So just if you're not already on my email list, look down below in the description of this video, and there is a link there for you to sign up. It doesn't cost anything. You just will be getting emails from me a few times a week. And on Saturdays, you'll get the project sheet of the week. And you'll also have access to back project sheets that go back about 4 years. I started it in late 2019. So we've got a lot of project sheets, lots of 3D projects, some cards, and everything going all the way back. All right. So also, if you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel and you would like to be, please do so. If you're following me on YouTube today, there's a little picture of me in a pink shirt in the corner. If you click on that, it will take you to the place where you can subscribe. Thank you if you are already a subscriber. I really appreciate that. All right, let me switch to, host code. One more thing. My brain, I started off today so well, and I was ready to go live at 10 a.m. and then I forgot to send, I knew I had forgotten to send an email reminder, so I said I was going to go live at 10:15 instead. So that's how I've always forget one thing or another. Too many things to think of. I need my a person that will just run my video studio and tell me what to do so I can just go live. Okay, so this is my host code for March. It's March 1st today. Happy March 1st. So this is the new host code, and this month's gift is these are going to be coming out in the new online exclusives in a few days. On March 5th, we're getting a whole new batch of online exclusives, and these are the adhesive backed swirl dots. So those are what you can earn, and you need to spend at least $50 with this host code in March to earn this gift from me. Okay, I think I've got taken care of almost everything, so I can switch over to here. And first of all, let me show you this little box. So it just opens like this, and inside I put some Ricola. You can find another candy if you want to. And then I put these chamomile, honey, and vanilla tea bags. And chamomile is always very soothing if you're not feeling well. So I just kind of tuck them in. You have to bend the corners just a teeny tiny bit, but I think it doesn't detract too much from this. And I fit about 5 Ricola in there on top of that, and it's all bright and yellow themed and happy, so very cute. And then this box just nests in there. Isn't the little honey bear cute? He's so sweet. Okay, let's pop these aside, and let's start off with building the sides of the box. All right, we're gonna bring in a Simply Scored, and we'll start off with the lid of the box. I'm trying to, these two pieces, they're almost the same size, one slightly longer than the other. So we're gonna start off with a longer piece because we're making the lid, and this piece measures 10 3/4 inches by 2 inches. 10 3/4 by 2 inches. And we're going to start off with the short side up at the top. And we're going to score at the 3/8 inch mark. So all the way down. And I like to stand up when I'm doing this, 3/8 all the way down. Then take that 3/8 inch side, and this is important. I don't know if you can see my score line here. Let me angle it. There, you can see it right there. Okay, you want to have that skinny score segment, that 3/8 inch up at the top, okay? Make sure it's up at the top, because not for the first 2 score lines, but for the second 2, you're going to need to have that up at the top. So you may as well get it up there right away. And then we're going to score again at the 3/8 inch mark and the 3.5 inch mark. Then pause, because you do not want to score all the way down. We are going to score then all the way down the line here, and we need to just score to the 3/8 inch score line, okay? Because we're going to score our little tabs so that we know where to cut our little V's into. So one thing I found really helpful to do this is to park a ruler just below that score line, okay? Make sure you still got your piece all the way into the corner here. And now I'm going to start scoring at all the 1/2 inch marks. So we'll start at 4, just come down to the 3/8. 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, and 10. We're not going to do the 10.5 inch mark on here because this is a straight part of the hive. It doesn't have to curve here. So this last tab is going to be a little wider than the other ones, but that doesn't matter, okay? So just if you kind of take a look here, your last one on the big strip, on the longer strip, is going to be a teeny tiny bit longer, but that's fine. If you do end up scoring that one at the 10.5 inch mark, no worries. You can just create a tab, or you can ignore that last score mark. It won't be seen because it will be actually become a part of the tab that holds everything together. So that's strip number 1. Let's go ahead and do the other one while we're at it, while we have the scoring board out. So this one measures 10.5 by 2 inches. 10.5 by 2 inches. Also put the short side up at the top. Score at the 3/8 inch mark. Then turn so that skinny score segment, that shorter one, is up at the top. We're going to score again at the 3/8 inch mark and the 3 1/4 inch mark. Then bring in your ruler again, or you can just be very careful. You don't want to score down past that 3/8 inch score line. If you do, you'll just have ridges. You'll have on here, you'll have ridges on this section, or it's probably, this is embossed, right? But you're gonna have, if you score all the way through, you're gonna have ridges on this smooth section here instead of it being nice and smooth. So it wouldn't be the end of the world, but if you want the smooth look, pop this in here. It doesn't take that much to close it, but of course when I'm doing it on camera. So just make sure you still have your cardstock piece all the way into the corner before you score. And now on this one, I'm going to skip over and start scoring at the 4 inch mark, not the 3 1/2 inch mark, because again, I'm going to have that very small tab, and we really don't need it because it's a straightaway right there on the piece. So we're going to start at 4 inches and 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 7, 7 1/2, 8, 8 1/2, 9, 9 1/2, and 10. And since this piece ends up at 10 1/2, you're all good. It's all even right up at the end. On this piece, you're going to have the wider tab closer to this end instead. But it doesn't matter because that's a straight part. All right, we've got our 2 pieces, and now we're going to prep them. We'll start with the longer piece, and we're just going to grab a scissors, and there's that little tiny square. I've turned this around now so that these guys are down at the bottom, and I'm going to look for that little tiny square, and we're going to cut that square away. It's going to, we don't need that square. So then we're going to come along here, and we're going to create little V's. So the easiest way for me to create little V's is to go cut, 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 cut all one way and then turn it around and do it the other way back. That way I just keep my scissor in the same direction. You could go like this and go back the other direction too if you prefer, and do the V's one at a time. But I'm just doing half of the V. So just come along, and then we're going to flip this piece. Actually, this one at the very end can also have a little angle cut on it. Then we'll flip this to the back, and now we're going to do the other part of the V. And as you do these, they may stick on there with just a teeny tiny bit of cardstock hanging. We'll just pull those afterwards. Just doing a V right at that score intersection, right up to the 3/8 inch line or score mark right there. And then we'll come and we'll do a little angle cut right there too. So now you just pull all of these V's, or yeah, I guess they're little inverted V's. You just pull them all out. If I had cut them a little bit further, they would have fallen out, but okay. So let me just move this down so you can get a clear view of what that looks like. So that's the top piece, and it's all ready to go. Let's do the same for the bottom piece since we're on a roll. We'll gather all of our little pile of yellow pieces. We'll cut away that square again. See that corner square. This piece is prepped the exact same way as the other piece. So then we just come along here and we start cutting in the angles. I think on my last box that I made, I ended up not doing these, but on this one, because there's that curve, and because we don't have another piece to cover up the inside, I felt like we kind of needed to do these little angles. It does make the box come together a little bit nicer too. And after a while, this becomes a little faster. This is such a cute box. And I think some people would actually keep the little box afterwards, after the stuff is inside, because it's cute. Looks cute on a shelf. Okay. All right, so there is the other piece ready to go. And then I'm just gonna scoop these up, and they are going into the garbage before they start sticking to my clothes. All right, so this long segment right here is going to bend. So to help it bend a little better, we're going to take our piece and just give it a little, just that long segment, just give it a little bit of a helper hand so that it wants to curve a little bit. This piece right here, this score line right here, is going to bend, or yeah, and this one too. And I'm gonna bend these other ones, these other tiny tabs down afterwards, because I find it easier to do this first when things aren't bent over. So this side tab right here is what we're gonna glue first. And just bring this together. And you wanna make sure that you match up the end of your strip right along that score line so that it's matches nicely, so that the end matches nicely right with that score line, and then give it a little press. Okay, and then you can push down all of these little guys. And this one. Okay. We're going to have this long segment up at the top first. And what I'm going to do, I'll show you how I die cut this arch piece afterwards, because I'm going to do some embossing, but I actually cut a couple of these in advance, and I'll do one of these afterwards just to show you how to die cut it properly, and then I'm going to emboss one too for the front. So you don't want to stick your embossed piece directly onto here, because embossing doesn't have enough surface area for these little tabs to attach. So you're going to want to adhere one of these to your piece first, and then cut another one of these and emboss it, and then adhere it on top. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to grab my piece, and I'm first just going to put adhesive right along the bottom tab, and we're going to put the other dots on afterwards, glue on afterwards. So we'll just do that bottom tab first, and we're going to line it up right along the bottom. It should fit perfectly along the bottom. And I'm just going to press this down. So it should pretty much line up just very nicely with the bottom, right along that edge. And then just press it down. It's just good to get this one piece anchored first before we do all the other tabs. Now you can just bend this back for a moment. And I'm going to put glue on each of these tabs, just a dot right in the center of all of those tabs. And then we're going to bring this down. And the key thing is you want to stretch it up so that it definitely is reaching all the way to the very top. And then you're going to push out to the sides. And just as you're doing it, just kind of look with your head around the side and make sure the edge of your piece is lining up with the edge of your die piece. And then once you've kind of got it settled, starting to settle where it's supposed to go, then you're going to reinforce by pressing down on each one of those tabs to make sure it's stuck into place right where it's supposed to be, right on the very edge of the piece. And that will be the top of the box. This piece fits kind of right along the rim of the edge. There's very little edge left. Then we're going to do this one as well. Just give this piece a little bit of curl right in the center because this is where it's going to bend. So this long segment, just kind of find the middle point and give that just a little bit so it's going to bend. Okay, then you're going to fold and fold, and that side tab right here come together right here. I don't know if I mentioned what color I'm using. This is crushed curry cardstock. You can use a different yellow if you like. Crushed curry is just a bright, happy yellow. I really like how it looks. Okay, so once you've got that situated, fold down your tabs. Final one. Okay. I'm gonna get this ready. So we're gonna again put Tombow on this bottom tab right here. And this time we're gonna line it up at the bottom, but we're gonna go up just a teeny tiny bit from the bottom. And you're gonna notice on this one that you want to have a little bit of a gap. I'll show you in just a second. Teeny tiny bit up from the bottom, and there's going to be a little bit of cardstock. So I don't know if you can see, but I've gone just a teeny tiny bit in from the edge, whereas this one is like right on the edge. This box, this is the bottom of the box. It's a little bit smaller, so that's why I'm going to go in just a teeny tiny bit from that edge. And all of these pieces will be probably just a teeny tiny bit in too. You can see right here on this side, it's the corners just a little bit in from this side and a little bit in from that side. Okay, then again we'll put little dots on our tabs, a bit more on there. Try to keep it in the center to minimize glue oozing out. And then this one, we'll just have a little bit more. And then we'll put this down here. And we just need to kind of have it come in just a teeny tiny bit from the sides. And then when you've got it situated where you want it, then just go ahead and press all the way around on each of those tabs, making sure that you've got good adhesion for the glue. I also wouldn't start like stressing out the joints on this. Let it dry for a couple of minutes so that you've aren't pulling back on that glue before it's completely dry. But there is the bottom of the box. One little tip, since we're not going to have anything to cover these tabs, here, I want to show you what the tabs look like if you do white and yellow. The reason I'm doing the same color of the hive and the same color of the sides is so that these little tabs on the inside here aren't noticeable. It doesn't look bad, right? It doesn't look terrible, but they all but disappear when you're using the same color bottom and the same color side. Okay, so this is our box top. Just make sure, yes it is. And this is what we're going to decorate. So let's cut ourselves. We're gonna do a couple things. We wanna create this beautiful look. This is what's going to make it look, oh, I don't know, just a little happier, a little bit more like a hive. So we're going to take two cover pieces and cover up the top part of the lid. The bottom stays blank, which is fine because it's going to be sitting down like that. And the back is going to be a flat too. Although if you really wanted to, you could, you know, put one on the bottom as well, but I don't think it's necessary. So we're just going to cover up the sides and the front. So I have to cut myself another beehive, and I'm going to emboss that, and then I'm going to emboss this piece, and this piece measures 7.5 by 1 3/4 inches. So we're going to bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we bring in, get rid of plate number 4 just for the moment. We're going to bring in our base plate number 1, thin die adapter number 2, cutting plate, and we'll bring this in. Just want to show you how this is die cut. Another clear plate on top, and then we'll run this through. And that's how I got those other shapes for the lid and the bottom. You need 3 for this project if you're going to emboss the top. So I've got that now. And then we're going to grab, where did it go? Shoot, I had it here. No. Oh, here it is. Okay, good. I just hid it under a whole bunch of things. This is the cane weave embossing folder. So we're going to do a different sandwich. We're going to remove the thin die adapter number 2 and both of the clear plates. We don't need that for embossing. We're for a 3D embossing folder. Okay, so if it's a 3D, you're just going to use the base plate, the die, and the number 4 plate. So what I do is I just pop this in here and we'll run this through. And there is the 1 beehive piece for the front. Now this one doesn't fit all the way in. I think this is about 6 inches. I'm going to line it up on one of these lines right here. I'm just kind of finding myself a line to line up against. And I'm going to leave the rest hanging off. Run that through. Shift this through. So then I want to emboss that last little bit. So I'm going to take a line again and line it up right on the edge, right with that line. Okay, and you will notice like just a slight difference in the pattern where they join up. But unless you know that it's there, you won't see it. So I just lined up that pattern right with the edge. And now I'm going to run this through. My embossing folder is on an angle, so that's why this piece is sticking out on an angle. Okay, so show you. You can see right here, you can see just a teeny tiny bit where that join is, but it's not bad. It still looks fine. So that's how I create that little bit of a longer piece. Pop this down. We'll need the die cutting machine one more time. All right, so let's pop this on here now. Oh, come on. It will fit. There we go. Okay. So it's easier to add these pieces when they're together because it gives you a little strength. So this piece, you can decide which side you want up. If you want, you can curl just a bit. You don't want to destroy the pattern though, so you just want to curl it just a teeny tiny bit. Before you glue it on here, you're going to just want to dry fit it and make sure that it looks good. If you need to trim off a little bit on the bottom, you might need to trim a tiny bit off. I'm going to have a teeny tiny bit of overhang, about maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And but if that bothers you, just trim it off. And then what I'm going to do is add glue onto here. So I'm trying to hit all of the top ridges, especially reinforce near the bottom, because that's where it's going to have the tendency to come up. Okay, then we're just going to wrap this around here. The good thing about doing this when the box is closed too, that way you'll make sure that you put it on the outside of the box and not on the inside, because the boxes do have a snug fit. You want to make sure that you're putting it on the outside, because if you put it on the inside, you won't be able to close your box, right? So look at that. Isn't that cool? I don't think, where's that pattern? Okay, I think that's where the overlap is, but you really can't tell. So that's a good thing. And then this one, you're gonna do the same thing. Just glue it. Make sure you're gluing it to the lid, which is this side. Come on. All the way around the bottom. And then we'll just nest this right in here, right on here. Okay, so that gives it just that fun look, and it really helps with the finished look of the box. Okay, now we just need to decorate it. So we're gonna grab the bear. We're going to grab some bees, and we're going to grab our greeting, and I'm going to do thinking of you. So we're going to do stamp the bear over here. I'm going to grab tuxedo ink. Just make sure that's all inked up. Didn't get that nose. Yeah, there's a light spot in the nose, so we'll just Okay, stamp that. We'll grab our little bees and we'll stamp them. You want to use a very light touch for the bees because they're teeny tiny, okay? And then last but not least, I'm going to show you, we're also going to have to do some die cutting on the greeting. Sorry for that light spot. I do not know where that's coming. I think I'm constantly shifting where that light spot's coming from. Where is it? It's right there. So as the light changes, it's constantly, no, where is it coming from? Up higher, okay. As the light changes in my room, the seasons are changing, so it's, okay, right there. Sorry about that. Okay, you can still see a little light spot down at the bottom, but that's a little bit better in the middle of my surface. I have sunshine coming in through the back of the house here, and it is gradually, it's moving further south. So each live I do, that if I have sunshine, I have to move it because it's constantly in a different spot. So anyway, that's just an aside. So to create that curved piece right here, this thinking of you, we're gonna do something, so I don't have to hand cut that. We're gonna take a 1 3/4 inch punch. This one is also an online exclusive. It's in the online store, but not the catalog. We're just gonna come in here and we're just gonna bite about like maybe half the circle. We'll do half the circle. Do a half circle bite out of the side of your piece. Then take the thinking of you. I'm going to use pecan pie ink. Thinking of you. This is naturally curved. And then I'm just going to line this up right along the edge. The photopolymer is pretty much right on the very tippy edge. Okay, so now, afterwards, we're going to take the die cut machine. Once we do the die cutting for this, we're going to take this piece, the arch piece, and we're going to cut it right there like that to create that top arch. But we'll do that in a minute. We'll do some coloring first. Okay, set this aside. Let me color this little bear here. Got my markers. We're using pecan pie. I'm going to try something different because I wanted to have, just set these aside for a moment. I want to have a light spot on my bear near his shoulder. And I did just actually leave kind of a blank spot there, but I think what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to use my dark crumb cake. And no, I'm going to use my light crumb cake. I'm going to just scribble a light spot right there. And then I'm going to come in with my pecan pie, my light one. And I'm just going to move out from there. I'm going to incorporate that piece. I'm going to come back in with my dark. So this looks kind of weird right at the moment, but that's just going to help me mark my spot where I'm going to go. Just be very careful. Just going to kind of scribble out the bulk of the bear here. And then I'll come in with my bullet tip in a second. I'm always experimenting. This is not the way I colored it the first time. So, okay, we'll do also the bear. We're going to avoid the snout. And you'll notice I'm holding this on an angle because I don't want to damage the tip of the bullet. Or not the tip of the bullet, the tip of the pointy thing. All right. Then we're going to come in with a bullet tip. And we're going to finish off going around the honey pot. All the way around. We'll do his little hand right there. And we're going to come back in afterwards with the dark. So I just want to make sure I hit everything that I wanted to hit with this. Come around to the toe pads. Okay. Now we're going to come in with Pecan Pie Dark. Yeah, always experimenting. Come in, and I want to hit, so everywhere where there's kind of a dark spot that the artist put in dark, that's where I'm going to hit with my dark bullet tip. And then we're going to do the head. We'll see if I like coloring this way. When I originally colored my first one, I did the dark first, and then I went into the light. So we'll see how I feel about all of this once it's colored. Okay, a little shadow under there, maybe a little shadow under here. Okay, because you know, when you have alcohol markers, they continue to blend for a while, even after they blend and they dry. Come back in here with my Pecan Pie Light, and I'm going to blend out that line just a teeny tiny bit. Kind of looks like fur. Okay, I think I like that. Crumb Cake Dark now. We'll do the pad, and we'll do the little bear's snout. We'll do the inners of the ears. Okay. Then this is Light Wild Wheat. And if you like my labels, oops, turn up this way. If you like my labels, I have a link to them in the description of my video. And you can print those out. All right, I'm going to come in. This is Boho Blue Light. I think I just used light on here. I didn't use the dark one. So I want to leave a light space, kind of, the light's coming down. That's why there's a light spot on the bear's shoulder. So there's also a light spot on the pot coming down from the top. Usually light is coming in from the top, like either natural light like sunlight, or if it's a lamp, it's usually coming in. So I'm just going over top with the Boho Blue Light on light. Okay, so I'm not actually using the dark. I just kind of went back over it. It just deepens the color just a teeny tiny bit. And that's all I did for the bear. He's so cute and very fun to color. And then coming in with the bees, I'm just going to grab the same Wild Wheat Light, and I'm just going to do the body of the bees. I'm going to leave the wings white. All right, we have to do a little die cutting. Pop some of my, I'm going to need these one more time. Pop some of these things away so they're out of my way. And we'll grab the die cutting machine one more time. Grab thin die adapter plate number 2. We've got the base plate number 1, thin die adapter, clear plate, grab the bear, grab the matching die right here. And I'm just going to grab a little piece of Post-it and cover up tape. You can also use a Post-it note, the top of a Post-it note. And once you've got that arranged, just stick that down. and we're going to run it through. We're doing these one at a time. I could have put the thinking of you in with the arch. There's enough surface, but sometimes I find it's just easier to do things one at a time. And there's the bear. No fussy cutting needed for that. All right, and then we'll grab the die piece for the thinking of you. And we're just using the top of the arch of the hive and just gonna put it just a teeny tiny bit above. Put this on here like that. And we'll run this through. And there's the top part of the arch, so you don't have to fussy cut that either. All right, and we'll scoot this away. All right, so for this one, you're just gonna cut off right after the U and right before the T. And then you've got your little arch piece, the bear. So my friend and I, I was designing while I was talking to her on the phone, and she's also a stamper. And I was saying, well, I need to throw some embellishments on there. And she said, no, you need to put the bees on there. So this is for her. I did little bees. So the bees do not have a die, so you do have to fussy cut them. And if you don't want to do that, then you don't have to. It looks fine without it, or you can throw on some little embellishments or something, and that will be fun too. But if you're like my friend, I know it looks cuter with the bees. I will give her that. It does. It absolutely does. So, but for those of you who don't like fussy cutting, teeny tiny bees. So cute. It does add to the whole thing. All right. Now we'll come back in and grab some dimensionals. So first we want to stick the bear down at the bottom. And I like to use dimensionals because they hold really well, and they hold really well, and they're going to stick very nicely to this, and they're not going to come off. Dimensionals have really strong adhesive on them, so you just position your bear near the bottom of your piece. I think I had the first one centered. No, it's good to have some room over on this side so that you can add the bees over on that side. Then we'll just grab a few of these smaller mini dimensionals to add to the side. Okay. And then we'll add that right over top, just a teeny tiny bit below the top of the, okay. And these dimensionals are too big for our little bees, so we're going to just add them with a teeny tiny dab of glue. Teeny tiny. Go. And dab. And one more dab. Glue. All right. There we go. And then we'll grab, I tied earlier, I tied a bow with this jute trim. It's the 2023-2025 jute trim. It has all these colors in it. And this color here is wild wheat. And it looks really good actually with crushed curry. So you can use them interchangeably. You could also make this box out of wild wheat. The crushed curry just has a little bit more light to it. Wild wheat is a little darker. But for some reason the yellow, they look good together. So you can just grab that and grab a mini glue dot and just add that to the top. Just adds a little something. What else am I forgetting? Oh, we need to put something on the inside, right? So let's just grab, I've got some Ricola here, and I've got some chamomile honey vanilla tea. So fun, right? So we'll open up this box. Come on. Open it up. So for these tea bags, you just kind of need to tuck in a little bit the tops of the tea bag. And then we'll just add some little candies to there. And then we'll just add this on top. There we go. Voila. And there is your cute little get well box. And you know, thinking of you can be thinking of you for so many reasons. So just, you know, decide whatever you're going to put on there. Like thinking of you can be like not for a reason that is, you know, that anything bad is happening. It can just be, I'm thinking of you, right? So you can put whatever the person loves inside of here. And yeah, just really sweet box with some fun embossing on the side using the Fluffiest Friends bundle. And the embossing folder's name is Cane Weave Embossing Folder. Complete supply list is in my on my blog, and down below in the description of the video you will find all the links that you could ever want. Now maybe there's some that you don't that you still need, but a lot of what you need is going to be right there for what you need. All right, I am going to go through your comments and say hello to everyone. Don't forget, I do have a host code running this month if you need to get that Fluffiest Friends bundle or the Cane Weave Embossing folder. If you spend $50 with me, you'll get this gift, adhesive back swirl dots sent to you in April. Okay, I'm gonna pop these away real quick. And we'll say hello to everyone. Let me know if you have any questions about this project before I sign off. Good morning, Mary and Pat. We've got two Marys on here this morning. Good morning, Linda and Deborah and Rhonda and Marty, Carol, Tina, Diane. Wow. And another Brenda from Ontario. Nice to have you here. Let's see. Good morning, Janine. And good morning, Jackie. Jackie says, everyone knows someone in need of this box. Yeah, right. And fill it with whatever you think is appropriate for that person. Linda says she loves the Omni grip ruler tip for keeping the score from going past the score line. Yeah, because I made a couple of these boxes. I was starting out and I was so gung-ho about the scoring that I didn't stop on that score line. So what I did on the project sheet, and I hope this will help, I try where I feel like I'm going to have an error or something. I put this in red. Partial score, just 3/8 inches down. I didn't put the ruler tip on there because I can't possibly put all the tips on my project sheet. That's why I have a video. But if you put that ruler just below, it's going to keep you from scoring all the way down. Nancy says, not a big deal, but what end of the scoring tool do you use most of the time? Most of the time, so our Stampin' Up! Scoring tool comes with a stylus tool, and it has a big ball and a small ball. Most of the time I use the big ball, and the reason we have two types of balls is because if you have really thick cardstock, you're going to want to use the small ball because you're going to be able to exert more pressure into the groove and you're going to be able to score better. When you're scoring delicate cardstocks like designer series paper, you want to use the big ball. With cardstock, the one that I was using today, you can choose. But here's the thing. If you don't have even pressure all the way down, if you're using the small ball, if you have to stop halfway down, because sometimes you have to reposition your arm on a long score, sometimes you're going to press, when you stop, you're going to press a little harder with that small ball into the cardstock, and you'll notice you're going to go just a tiny bit deeper right there. So all in all, I think I like the big ball the best. It's the one I use the most, just because there's less likely that I'm really going to really go deep into my cardstock, and so it just prevents, that extra depth. What happens when it's too deep, sometimes when you fold it, you'll see a little bit more cracking right where it's too deep. Usually you can't tell, but just over time, I feel that the big ball is the safer bet. And you can always go back if you don't feel like it scored deep enough. You can always go back with your small ball afterwards, but most of the time the big ball is what I use. That's the long explanation for that scoring tool, but it's a good question, Nancy, because I have switched over time. I've been using it for many years, so I've had lots of experience with it. So that's just what I came up with from my own personal experience. Linda says, I don't have this bundle, but you always have lots of learning tips for general ideas. Well, thank you, Linda. Yeah, it's just a different way. And I think this box will appeal to some people, and for some people, they'd rather make Easter eggs. So it's just whatever you need. I think this is adorable. You could also, you could change it out too. The bear goes very well with the honey theme, but any of these little guys will look cute on the front of the box. So you could look at the little heart beaver, the beaver holding a heart. He's so sweet. So you could change it up and put something different on the front of this. So the box could be used for different things. All right, Kathy. Hello, Kathy. Nancy says, a little glitter glue on the dripping honey looks cute too. Yes, that would look very sweet. Good morning, Vera Blue. Linda said, I missed the first few minutes. So did you explain how you determine the length of the box sides? Yeah. In terms of how much width, there's exact measurements. The top of the lid is 10 3/4 by 2. The bottom lid size 10 1/2 by 2. In terms of the depth, if you want to make your box deeper, you just increase that 2 inches and you make it like more. Like you could, if you wanted your box to be a bit deeper, you could do 2.5 inches. I thought 2 inches was a good depth. So when you do 2 inches, you're going to decrease the depth of your box because we're scoring that 3/8 inch line. So you're going to end up with a box that's about 1 5/8 inches. If you need that box to be 2 inches wide or tall or whatever from this dimension, then you just increase that 2-inch short side on both boxes. You keep the same 10 3/4 or 10 1/2, and then you can just switch it out. It shouldn't affect any of the scoring because you're going to still be scoring at the 3/8 inch mark on the short side and turning that short side to the top. So it shouldn't affect any of the other measurements. I know sometimes we need to adjust things according to what we want to put in the box. Always try, depending on what I'm going to put in the box, and I knew what I was going to put in the box, so I kind of judged how much depth I would need. So this just looked good to me, this depth, but you might have something bigger you want to put in. All right, I hope that explains everything. Hello, Pat. Hello, Linda. Tina and Mary say, so cute. And Verblue says, cute too. And Marty liked the way I did the greeting. Yeah, that took some trial and error. I tried with 2 punches at first, and that didn't work, so I had to use the punch and the die, and that worked just fine. Hello, Nola. Nice to have you here. Hello, Karen. I don't know the first name of this person, and I don't even know how to pronounce the whole thing, but she said if you still had some of the little brass bees, they would be awesome on this project too. Yeah, if you have, there's some retired embellishments that are brass bees. If you had those, you could use those on there. Or embellishments if those teeny tiny bees are too hard to handle. Karen says cute. Linda says Bit O Honey would be cute in there too. Is Bit O Honey like a snack or something? That would be cute inside. I did look at doing different things inside the box. There's a lot of honey themed things, but you don't have to put anything honey themed in there. It's cute just of itself, and then you can put whatever the person might like in there. They also sell cute little honey wrapped honey candies that you can get. Irma says cute and thank you for the demo. Oh, Terry is the person who is asked or mentioned the brass bees, so thank you, Terry, for that suggestion. Marty says there's a tea called Throat Coat. And her daughter's a singer, and she's been using it for a long time. I have used Throat Coat too. If I ever have a sore throat, that one's really nice as well. Kathleen says, love, love, love this adorable gift box with lots of hearts. Thank you, Kathleen. Carol says, you're amazing with all your projects. Aw, thank you, Carol. That's so sweet. Bit O Honey is candy. Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever had Bit O Honey, but that would be wonderful for inside of the box. And Pat says cute box. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. The project sheet will be in your inbox sometime tomorrow, and I hope you'll consider making this project. I think it's great for cheering people up. It's so adorable, so cute, the little bear on the front of the box with the honey. All right, I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will be back here next week with some new projects for you. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.